They invited me to dinner just to humiliate me. At least that's what it felt like. My girlfriend and I had been dating for almost a year. She came from a wealthy family, old money, big house, country club weekends, the kind of life I had only ever seen from the outside. I didn't mind it. I worked hard, paid my own bills, built everything I had from scratch. And she always said that's what she loved about me. But her family, that was different. I met them once before, briefly. They were polite, too polite. The kind of polite that feels fake. So when she invited me to a small family dinner, I knew this wasn't just dinner, it was a test. I showed up on time, wearing my best shirt, carrying a bottle of wine I couldn't really afford. Her house was bigger than I remembered. Marble floors, tall ceilings, everything quiet, like a museum. Her father opened the door, looked me up and down, didn't smile. Come in. No handshake, no welcome, just evaluation. Dinner started normally. Her mother asked basic questions. Where do you work? What do you do? How long have you been together? I answered honestly, kept it simple, respectful. Then her father leaned back in his chair and asked the question. So, what are your long-term plans? I told him. I was building my own business, still growing, still learning, but moving forward. He nodded slowly, then smirked. Sounds unstable. The table went quiet. My girlfriend shifted in her seat. I felt the heat rise in my chest, but I stayed calm. I smiled and said, everything starts somewhere. He didn't like that. A few minutes later, her brother joined in, asked what car I drove. I told him. He laughed, actually laughed. Man, our dog rides in better cars than that. Her mother tried to hide a smile. My girlfriend looked down, didn't say a word. That hurt more than anything. I wasn't just being judged. I was being measured and failing. Then came dessert, and with it, the final blow. Her father raised his glass and said, I just hope my daughter doesn't have to lower her standards. Silence. Every eye on me. That was the moment. I could have argued, I could have defended myself, but I didn't. Instead, I finished my drink, stood up, and said calmly, you're right. The room froze. I looked at my girlfriend, then back at him. And she won't. I placed the wine bottle on the table, unopened, then I walked out. No anger, no shouting, just done. That night, she called me, cried, said she didn't expect things to go that way, said her family was just protective. I listened, then asked one question. Why didn't you say anything? She had no answer, and that was my answer. We broke up that week. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary, because respect isn't something you beg for, it's something you walk away for. A year later, my business took off, clients grew, money followed, life changed, and one day, I ran into her father again at a restaurant. This time, he stood up, shook my hand, smiled, said he'd heard good things. I smiled back and said, everything starts somewhere. Then I walked away.